The bell. Thanks, Chad. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I love meeting here. This is awesome. So I'm excited, okay? I'm going to say it. I'm excited, but I'm excited for Tyler. I think he's going to do a great job, but I wanted to thank my board. I couldn't have done this without my board helping. They just pitch in and do, and they know right what they're doing. It's awesome. I just really want to thank them for helping, and especially Erin with the lunches. Everybody got sick of Lana being the secretary because it was Neaters every week, okay? I'm like as creative as I don't know what. So Erin has I love it. And half the time she picks it up herself. Yeah, she's been great. What I'm going to do is I've just called and asked a few people to talk about different aspects of what we have done this past year. I'm going to start with the tree planting and the bench. So, I think it was 5 trees, right? Does anybody, I think it, was it 7? And this is one of them?
See, you did better than you thought.
7 trees. So Rotary, and with Rotary International, we were able, I think we donated $500 and they put in 1,000. So we had a total of 1,500 to do trees. So we decided to put them here at Sierra Bonita Park. And they're throughout here. There were some that were dying that they took up, and we had a lot of people come in, some with their families, and it was great. I don't know if you guys knew, but we planted all those trees along there when Luke Marvin was president. Across the street. Those right along that little area right there. And then the bench. It's awesome. It turned out so good. I love it. So I'm going to come up here and just sit. You'll see me just sitting up here. I'm going to ask Chad to talk a little bit about when we did some service with Tabitha's Way.
Yes, I hope I get the specifics because we went there 3 or 4 times, I think, in the last year. This will be a little most Tabitha's Way in our community is such a blessing to our community. It serves so many people who need just a little bit of a hand up. And listening to some of the stories that Wendy tells about people who have donated year after year after year and come there and serve only to find themselves needing a hand up. And of course there it is, the chance to. We had the opportunity a couple times to go down there and serve. The one particular was Thanksgiving. And the staff down there are so great because you just kind of get there and they gather together and then they put you to work and they have everything on the walls. And we put together packages that went out. And I was trying to remember, I know went to Nebo School District, 150 of them, that went out to families and we put those boxes together. All of us, we took a minute and we put the packages and sealed them up and put on a pallet so that then Tabitha's Way could take them to these locations so that the families can come and gather. One other time we did just the boxes. So if you show up to Tabitha's Way and come in just to get some groceries and a few things, they have all that stuff ready, some essentials in a box, and we did some boxes. And actually, when I was leaving, we had Jimmy John's. We had Jimmy John's for dinner, and I was kind of last one to leave, and I was leaving. Some of the people that were there says, could we eat these sandwiches? Like, yeah, that's what's left, have at them. And the one guy he was kind of racing around doing a few things. He come over to me and said, you know what, I just want to say thanks to you guys because we had done, 3 pallets of boxes. And was his job was when they come in, the first thing he had to do is grab one of those boxes, and he had to usually put them together. And he was so grateful that we had taken time to do that. That saved him a ton of time. And it was so great. It's when you serve your community this way, and sometimes you don't always see that, and you don't need that big, huge pat on the shoulder, but Lana took us there, and that was great. Thanks you.
Thanks,
Is
Chad.
that good?
And then Julianne's going to talk about the dictionaries because she's a pro. She's done it. How many years?
Oh, gosh. Several. More than a couple.
So for 2022, we do the dictionary project every fall, usually in October. So for 2022, there were 1,967 dictionaries that we bought and handed out to 22 schools. There were 17 sponsors. We had a couple of sponsors that did more than one school. So we had 17 sponsors that were able to contribute to that. We had some new sponsors this year. We've got a growing community and businesses who want to serve and help, and the school district and those kids that are so excited to get, those third graders that are so excited to get that dictionary and to be able to take that home to them at the end of the year. And it really is a delight to be able to take that to those kids and hand those out to them. So lots of dictionaries, lots of kids. So we did it.
And Lana Hiskey with the dragons. Well, they don't call it that anymore. What do they? The Nebo Pantry.
Thank you. I felt like Tabitha's Way was a great lead-in. Nebo School District at any given time will have between 1,300 and 1,600 what we classified as homeless students, and that means they're in transition. They don't have a permanent residence, and they're living with other family members, or they're in camping trailers or cars even. So every year, Rotary has been so generous, all of you, really pitching in and showing up. Usually, we take all of our goods in December, but sometimes my office gets really full from all the donations coming in, and so we take them even a little earlier. But those donations include coats and shoes and Levi's and personal hygiene. Believe it or not, that's one of our number one things that we need is personal hygiene type kits. And so that has been extremely beneficial to those students. And just going forward, so the community knows, we have social workers at each of the schools. As you know, mental health is something that we're very concerned about. And so we've added more counselors and social workers, and those social workers are really on the lookout at each of the schools, and we'll be getting more packets out to more schools, just trying to get that word out so that families that are in need, they know that where they can turn. And again, Thanksgiving and Christmas time is always a time where those that are in need feel it even more intensely at that time. So anyway, we just love all, and you know, Rotary started this and donating, and you've now got chamber members donating, and you even, the last 2 years, the district office, all the employees, instead of giving gifts and everything, donate now to the Nebo Pantry. So it's really mushroomed, so thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
And Tyler, our incoming president, he's going to talk about RILA and what that even means.
Thank you. So RILA, along with a lot of other service opportunities to help the youth in our community, RILA is just another one of those examples. And I even looked to make sure that I got it right. It stands for Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, and it's a program where you go, for those that aren't aware of it, we search out through counselors and other leaders in the local schools, local high schools. We search out students that may be of interest to go to this program. It's usually a 2-day conference every year where these youth can sign up and go, usually somewhere in the state, right? Different locations. But they can go and over the course of a couple of days learn leadership skills, teamworking skills, and kind of help them transition into that next phase after graduation and become leaders in their own sphere of influence. And this last year, I'll name who we had. We had Samantha Lowe. I think people know her in this group from Salem Hills High School. We had Mackenzie Cook from Salem Hills High School, and we also had Mac Bramall from Spanish Fork. And we'll usually average a handful, 3 to 5 students every year, and we try to get more and get them involved. And so we're always active with the schools to get those names registered early and known, so that these kids have a great opportunity to grow. So looking forward to more years of it.
And they actually came, all 3 of them come and speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, all 3 came to speak afterwards.
That was awesome.
So, yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
And hey, we did a lot of stuff this year, okay? We're halfway done. I'm gonna have Bill talk about the track meet and the hot chocolate. That's all I'll say.
Well, every year it used to be the Hershey track meet. I guess now it's just Nebo School District's track meet, which is a great event. But it's usually kind of cold in the morning, so we're going to do hot chocolate. And I got a 5-gallon thing of hot chocolate, and I was in a hurry, so I didn't buckle it in. And just before I got to turn into, lady ran the stop sign, and I had to slam on my brakes. And we didn't have hot chocolate.
But your car did.
Yeah, my 5 gallons of hot chocolate in my car. So, yeah, yeah. After detailing, and it still has a funky odor. Anyway, we have the opportunity to be the snack bar for the kids that come to this track meet, their families, and they're sitting there pounding on the door before we even get it opened up. Aaron is the cotton candy master. He's probably still got cotton candy in his hair.
No, that's actually just gray hair.
Oh, okay. But it's such a great opportunity to earn some money for Rotary and then be able to provide the service to the community. So I think the track meet just shows what Rotary is all about, giving back to the community and services. It's just a joy to have service, and so it's great to be part of the Spanish Fork community.
Thanks, Bill. Okay, Aaron, you're up with the golf. The end all, the big.
So all these projects obviously take money to do them, buying trees and paying for benches and things like that. And so one of the things we've also done, of course, is to provide scholarships to Nebo School District students for college. So we've offered a $1,700 scholarship, which ends up being about half tuition per semester or for a semester at any of the local in-state programs or BYU as well. So this year we had 31 students apply, and we actually awarded the scholarships to all 31 students.
Wow.
So that totaled up to $52,700 of scholarships that we have offered. Now, unfortunately for the students, although fortunately for us, not everybody claims all of those scholarships. Julianne's got a list of these are all the people that we're waiting for them to send us a letter. And oftentimes those kids end up deferring for a couple of years because they go on missions or they work for a little while before they go to college. And they may just forget about it. But inevitably, some of them don't end up claiming them. But we do have a reserve built up to cover it. So this year we held our annual golf tournament. And with the golf tournament, we had 88 golfers come. And with that, we raised $22,455, which was great from businesses around the community that donated to participate in that golf tournament. Now, there are some expenses, primarily renting the course itself, as well as the t-shirts and the food. Those are some of our bigger expenses. And so that came to $6,800, leaving us a profit of $14,000. So we made $14,000, but we committed $52,000 in scholarships. So thankfully, we've had other years where it's been the opposite, where we had more money come in than we had scholarship applicants. And so we've been saving that over the years. And we have a little nest egg that keeps growing. It's invested and makes it possible. So even in these years, when we offer more scholarships than we brought in the tournament that year, if every one of those kids did come to claim it, we would still be able to cover those costs. So that was our big golf tournament fundraiser and scholarships for the year.
Thanks, Aaron.
Okay, Aaron, Aaron Rogers, sorry. I'm going to ask you to talk about that service project we did just last week. And Brent was going to come, yes, but could you do that?
Sure.
Okay, so Brent was our service board member, and he was able to work with Laura Belk, and she runs the nonprofit organization Nurturing Nations, and she's just got such a big heart. She's adopted children from Ghana, Africa, and then started this organization to help those that have to stay there that don't have a home. And so they every few months, I guess, she takes tubs of supplies out there, and we were able to put together, our club donated the items for 50 kits, and then Brent was able to donate 50 more kits by, I don't know what he did, but we did 100 kits. Last week we put them all together and got them all in their little bags, 13 items each, and so those kids have supplies for school and for good hygiene, and we're able to help them so they don't have to choose between soap and food. That was what I remember, the moms asking her what's more important, food or soap, and so they don't have to choose, and so that's a wonderful blessing that we're able to help her and help her in her good work that she does.
Thanks, Aaron.
So with everybody's help, and we're kind of a small club. I consider us kind of small, but we do a lot of stuff, don't we? There's one Rotarian that I've got to talk about for a minute, because he was so involved and helped everything I asked. He was there to help and more. I mean, he's just, Aaron, come up.
Which one? You Rogers?
It's a he. It's a he.
I get confused with pronouns. It's so hard these days.
Aaron Lowe, if you say, where were you at the track meet? I was there making cotton candy. Where were you at the golf? I was there 24/7. Where were you in every aspect, all year long? And so Spanish Fork Rotary Club recognizes Aaron Lowe as the Rotarian of the Year, Service Above Self.
Thank you. Okay, I gotta tell a funny story. So last week, I missed the service project, but it's because I was doing a different Rotary thing. So last week, one of our exchange students came home from having spent a year abroad in France. So I went to greet her at the airport, and I got up there and found her parents, and we were standing there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for her to come through the doors. And of course, with international arrivals, you never really know how long it's gonna take. But we finally said, man, it's been like a half hour, 45 minutes. And so her dad said, I wonder, is there a possibility that she's come somewhere else? And it's the new airport, so we're trying to figure out the new airport. And I'm like, all the kids that I've ever welcomed home from previous exchanges have always come through this one big main door where the big greeting area is. But the dad went and just thought he would see. Well, sure enough, she'd actually come through downstairs. There's a separate international arrivals door that comes through. And he found her standing there by herself bawling because she'd been gone for an entire year, was so excited for her family, and she walked through the door and nobody was there, and we were just standing upstairs going, where is she? Where is she? I felt so bad, but that's what I was doing last week when I missed.
You did miss that service project. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, I'm done. But we're going to get pictures over here at the bench after the meeting. Everybody's got to meet at the bench. But I'm going to turn the time over to our new incoming president, Tyler.
And with that, our meeting is done. Yeah, right. Yep. Ring it up. Ring it up. No, thank you. I'm excited. I didn't really come with a script of much to say, other than introduce the board still for the upcoming season, for the upcoming year, and to just I want to start by just saying thanks to everybody in this group. Mike warned me a few years ago when he helped me get involved with Rotary. He says, whatever you do, don't miss a meeting, because that's when you get assignments. And you can tell I've missed a few if this is where I'm sitting now. No, in that vein, the last few years since I've joined Rotary, I work for a local bank. I work for Central Bank, and I work in the mortgage industry. And as many of you may very well know from personal experience, since 2020, since COVID, rates have been all over the place, and my work has been just absolutely crazy at times. And there have been a lot of times where I've just not been able to break away from the bank to come to a meeting here or there. Or last year we had a little bit of family health emergency that took a lot of our time, and I was grateful that there was never a question posed to me from the Rotary Club as to where were you. Everyone knew where I had been in doctor's visits and other things for the last year, and I appreciate the camaraderie that's in this group, because there are faces that are normally here at meetings that aren't here today, but they're busy doing good elsewhere. And when they're not here this week, they're here next week. And where one can't make it to this service project, others do. And I have been absolutely amazed at that, just putting your shoulder to the wheel, if you will, and just working to make life better for our community. We do so much. Like you said, we're a little group, but we're strong, and we do a lot for our community, for children and adults in our community. We bless their lives in many ways, and I'm proud to just be a part of that. So I look forward to just continuing the great traditions that we've had for a long time. I've never been a great proponent, if you will, of fixing what doesn't need to be fixed, but yet just continuing on with the good traditions that have been strong and core values and foundational things to the group that have blessed people for a long time. And so I look forward to continuing to learn from a lot of you that have been pros in this industry for a long time. And I look up to each of you and try to just mimic some of the good that you do. With that being said, I also want to just thank my family. My dad is here, my brother Mike, my beautiful wife Amanda, my sister-in-law's even here. I mean, they're supporting me. I want to thank my wife with other duties that I have in life. She oftentimes gets the brunt end of taking on the duties of having 4 young kids, and she's raised the most beautiful kids I can imagine, and I love her for that and love her support. And so with that, I'll introduce our board of directors. I did ask their permission prior if they would accept this, and so with all of that being said, we'll continue to have Aaron Lowe as the treasurer, Bill Summers over membership.
Have to come up because we have
Yes.
to officially install them, don't we?
Yes,
Okay.
if you'll come up as your names are read, that would be wonderful. So Aaron Lowe is our treasurer, Bill Summers over membership, Brent Wall, he's not here today, but he's over service, Aaron Rogers over public image, very important these days, foundation, Julianne Roberts, and youth and Ryla Lanadal.
And I know nothing about youth, so you're going to have to help me.
But
Tyler.
you don't get out all the way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is our 2023-2024 Board of Directors, and look forward to working with them and having another fun year.
Okay. So I guess what I have to do, Aaron helped me with this last year. I need to install Tyler, and then he will install the board. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler. Tyler Mendenhall, you have been selected by the board members of this Rotary Club to guide its affairs during the coming year. You are entrusted with the responsibility to help shape your club's future. Will you fulfill the responsibilities of the office of club president to the best of your ability and uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club?
Yes, I will.
Okay, and then
All right.
right there.
Stand here. All right, installation of Rotary Club officers. You have been selected to hold important positions in the administration of the Spanish Fork Rotary Club. We believe you will continue the traditions of your club and continue forward with the mission and goals of the Spanish Fork Rotary Club. Will you fulfill the responsibilities of your offices to the best of your abilities and in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of this club?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
will.
will.
I hereby declare the new officers and directors of the Spanish Fork Rotary Club installed and transfer the administration of this club into their hands. Thank you for serving. Is that official?
Yes,
All
that
right,
is
all right.
official.
Very cool. All right, very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we need the mayor just to say just a few words.
Tyler, stay up here. Listen, the reason, if you weren't going to call on me, Lana, I was going to jump up here and say, like, point of order or privilege. What do we say in council? I don't know, something. Yeah, something like that. I was going to have Councilman Argyle. He keeps track, if you notice, of council meetings. It's becoming, and I think it's my age now, Lana, so how old does that make you? But every meeting, it's either public comments or council comments that I'm grateful Councilman Argyle's next to me because he's like, council comments or public comments. And I'm like, oh, that's right, let's go backwards. So the man knows how to run the meeting, and I don't know what we're gonna do without you. So it's a weird season. Well, we'll try to go forward, but his service for in the city, and I know, as you guys have expressed, the Rotary Club side of it has been fantastic. So kudos to Councilman Argyle. I know he wasn't looking for a round of applause, but I think we should because he's good. So the reason I wanted to speak is because Amber and I attended a work meeting conference for my day job over the weekend, and I had to speak to a group of other financial advisors in the West, and I got introduced by a story, and I wondered where the heck they got that story, and then I found out that it was between Dad and Tyler that they got a story about me. So in front of all my work peers, it was kind of an embarrassing story about a skunk that gets into the house, and everybody's worried about trying to get the skunk out, but Mike's worried about his clothes, so he's a vain person. There's a lot more details to that we don't need to go into. So I'll share it. Yeah, talk to John later, he'll tell you about it. But suffice it to say, when I knew this was happening with Tyler, I'm like, all right, I can get him back with a couple of stories. So your next year you can make sure you don't forget these, and there's a lot. Just email me. We can get into them. But the two main things about Tyler is as a kid growing up, we grew up out in Palmyra before we moved up to the power plant in '92. And so we had cousins and friends up there, obviously, but cousins down here that we always played with and grew up with. And there were only two things that Tyler, I mean, he was a tough farm kid. He loved the farm. Jagger, you like the farm, huh? You got it from your Uncle Tyler, not from your dad. But Tyler always liked to help Grandpa Gull haul hay, drive the tractor, do whatever. That was his gig. That was his thing. And so he liked that. He wasn't afraid to work. Two things he was afraid of. If the clouds started rolling in and you could hear like a distant thunder, like Tyler is beelining for home. So if he's ever not at a meeting that is a little bit inclement weather, it's because he's still maybe a little scared of thunder and lightning, right? And the only other...
Who invited this?
Yeah, the only other thing, this turned into the roast, not the installation of the president, but the only other thing, dirt clods would, you get bored out in the farm, and so we'd pin him and his cousin down behind the feeding troughs that were concrete, right, the mangers, and wouldn't let him out because we're throwing, they weren't really rocks. Maybe there were rocks in them, but they were dirt. So when they'd hit, they'd explode. But to this day, if he sees, like a pile of dirt, he gets a little worried too. So dirt and thunder are what Tyler's scared of. But I'll reiterate, he's not scared of work. He's the brother that all of us call in the family when we need help lifting something, when we need help moving something. When it's any time to get to work, we call Tyler in our family, and that sense of service and work instilled in us by John and Lena Mendenhall and our family, our heritage. Lift where you can, help each other, help people, and so this role fits my brother really well. It also fits that usually follow up the lesser Mendenhall with a better Mendenhall. I think that's a good strategy in life, and so clean up some of the stuff from years ago at the Rotary Club. But again, I just can't thank you enough from the city. Councilman Argyle and the other council members and the city staff talk about this often, but what you do here as far as service, what you do with the golf tournament, with everything that you get involved in, that's really where the rubber meets the road. When people come and ask an elected official, I want to get involved, how do I get involved, I want to serve, man, this is the place to do it. Come to Rotary. You'll get the benefit of feeling like you're part of something, but you really will make a difference. This bench is beautiful, those trees, and by the way, the grass that's there too. Erin can tell you, she lives on that road. That was quite the mess before Rotary got involved, and it's a beautiful area. It wasn't so pretty for a stretch of road there that is now beautiful forever, and it's because the Rotary got involved. So thank you, everyone. I'm not sure what you were thinking getting him involved. It'll go well, and it'll go well because good people serve in the Rotary for good causes. So from the mayor and city council, thank you for your service. Anything we can help augment, please let us know. But you guys are the ones that do the work. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
Tyler for mayor to clean up after Mike?
I'm in the county. I'm in the county. There's, don't let me forget the next meeting that we're having where we invite the mayor to come. I get to introduce him. Is that okay? Okay. This can go back and forth, and SFCN will need to be present. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Kind words, and I'm excited to roll up our sleeves and continue the great work that we do. A lot of the times we men in life say that our wives are our better half, and they are, because she just reminded me of the most important thing that we could not let have happen before Lana rides off into the sunset as past president. We want to award her. So Erin, you're not the only one that did a lot of work last year. I'm sorry to take your thunder a little bit away. Lana has been involved. This was the second time you've been president? When was the first?
1973. Yeah. I'm gonna do something.
It was
2011.
I know.
2011. And how long had you been involved in Rotary prior to that?
Not too long. That's kind of like
I know the pain.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
I had to rely on people.
Well,
yeah.
you've been part and an integral part of the club for a long, long time. And to serve as president 2 times, that's no small task. And the club has been uplifted and blessed because of your efforts for so long. And we just want to present you with this plaque that is for the 2022-2023 Spanish Fork Rotary President.
Thank
and
you.
On here, it's just something. I had a lot to say, but Cole's House of Trophies told me, cut it down a little bit. And so the little bit that we put on there is just a simple thank you for your leadership and your great example to all.
Well, thank you very much.
You give service above self all the time. So
well, thanks,
thank
Tyler.
You. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Service above self, Spanish Fork Rotary Club.